Hello again and welcome. The first thing I'd like to do is to thank my good friend Hubie over in the United States for sending me this really great t-shirt. I'll be wearing this with pride on a number of occasions and indeed at UKIWS Hubie, along with my other t-shirt. Unfortunately, my original UKIWS t-shirt, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, has got a lovely stain on it, just about there. Can't get it off, so I had to order another one. So this one is for the workshop and the other one is hanging up in the wardrobe and won't be touched until, well, for 2 weeks now. It's under 2 weeks and we're away, and a week next Friday, because this is Sunday the 5th of June. Getting a little bit nervous now. However, what I intend to do is to make a series of videos of like how-to videos of little hints and tips that I've picked up over the sort of 3, 4 or 5 years that I've been turning, and indeed the majority of these tips have come from other YouTubers, and I'm not pretending to invent the wheel or indeed have invented the processes I'm showing you, but I thought a little sort of collage, if you like, of alternative methods of doing specific jobs, and then although most of you will know them, those that don't have some options to consider. And today's video is going to kick off with making a depth hole, whether it be for a goblet, a box, or any piece that you need to know what depth you want to go to. So we'll go to the lathe now. I've got a piece of fence post, 4x4 fence post. I've turned round to a cylinder, which I'm going to demonstrate on, because I don't really want to mess up some good wood. Okay, over to the lathe and let's drill some depth holes. One of the easiest methods, for example, if I'm hollowing a goblet, this is a 3/8 spindle gouge, and you can use that to obtain a depth hole for the depth of the bowl you want on your goblet. So if you turn the lathe on at an average speed, nothing too high, about 1000 revs, and make sure that the tool rest enables you to have the spindle gouge horizontal to the lathe bed, and you're going in with a point. So you hold it and the flute is at facing you at 90 degrees. And try and go in as near as you can to the middle, and then literally push. And that has actually very quickly gone down to that depth, and whatever depth you want you can carry on going through. A very easy and efficient way of getting a depth hole, and then you can back hollow as you wish. So that is one way of obtaining a depth hole. The other way is using a drill. Now you can, not everybody has a Jacob's chuck. So if you have, this is a brad point bit, this is the first one I did, and I made a little handle for it, drilled a hole and epoxied it in. And again, we've already got the hole there, but I'll go in a bit further. You just push in, and you can go in to whatever depth you require. Now the problem with that is that I'm restricted to only using the size of drill bit that I've epoxied in. So I purchased off eBay a couple of these very cheap keyless chucks, which come with an arbor, and I again drilled a hole in an old handle and epoxied that in. So now I have the versatility of putting any size drill bit in there that I wish. I can have a small one, a large one, up to the capacity of this. And the advantage of using something like this is that it gives me a lot of stability, and I can go in, and again, you would, if this hadn't been started, you would just put a little indent in there to get the drill bit centered, and then literally feed it in, and you can go to whatever depth you like, or whatever depth your drill bit allows. But it gives you the flexibility of changing the diameter of the whole depth hole that you're drilling. Now, those are the handheld methods. And the other method is to use a Jacob's chuck. Now some Jacob's chucks have a threaded part where this is just a little hole. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Now that enables you then to put some threaded rod through your tailstock to screw on here to stop it wanting to pull out of the Morse taper. This, as I say, hasn't got that feature, and as long as you hold the Jacob's chuck as you're advancing, and especially when you're retracting to clear the swarf, etc., you won't have any problems. The big thing, a lot of people don't like the handheld option. They don't feel it's safe. I've never had a problem with it. And while you're drilling, excuse the noise, and when you're taking out that drill, make sure you're pulling back on the Jacob's chuck. And then that is another way of doing it. And the other method is obviously Forstner bits. Now if you're drilling into end grain, my preference is to use the sawtooth style. The smaller ones tend to come with a solid blade area, if you like, and that doesn't work so well in end grain, but I've had no problems at all, providing you keep them sharp, which you can just hone them up with a diamond hone or a slipstone, and I've had no problems with those at all. Now the only thing is with a Forstner bit, let's just take this one for example, which is the one that I use for tea light holders, because that is the right size for the glass to fit in, and then consequently I just drill the depth I want and the job is done. And strangely enough, it's just the depth actually of the blade part of the Forstner bit. Now with a Forstner bit, I will start this off now, and again you don't want too high a revs with a Forstner bit. I find about 400 revs is just about right. And again, hold your Jacob's chuck, make sure everything is down, and start to advance. And obviously, which I didn't do, make sure that your Forstner bit is tight in the chuck. Start again. I'm glad that was in, because that is a problem I have quite often. And again, pull it out often to clear. You can see how efficiently that is getting rid of the wood. Now for this demonstration that is sufficient. I don't need to go right the way down. Now the only problem I find obviously with the Forstner bit is you're left with that little indent there, and I've got a very quick and easy solution for that, and it makes a feature of it as opposed to looking a bit sort of unfinished, if you like. Just get a small round nose scraper, any scraper you want, and literally just get that up a little bit further, and then literally just make a feature of it. A little indent. And I'll zoom in there. And you can see that makes a nice little feature, and when it's sanded up it looks good. So you're getting rid of that little hole in the middle, and at the end of the day it's not going to be seen because you're going to have the candle in there. But any operation that you use a Forstner bit on, you can just get rid of that little hole just by making a little dish. And the final type of drill I use for doing long boring, well, as long as I need anyway, this goes down to 11 inches, is an auger bit. And this auger bit is 20mm, just on 3/4 inch diameter. And for hollow forms, etc., that has served me very well. One point to note, the end of an auger bit has a threaded point just before you get to the cutter proper. My advice to you is to, if you're going to use an auger bit, is file those threads down so they don't bind, because when you retract after you've to clear any swarf, whatever, that can actually catch, and you can have a nasty accident with that. Fortunately, I read about this somewhere on, or saw this somewhere on YouTube, so I took their advice and I've had no problems with this at all, and I find it extremely efficient. Now, if we put that into the this obviously will be put into the Jacob's chuck. The other advantage is that it has a hexagonal end, which means that it's not likely, it's not liable, like the Forstner bits that have the round shafts, to spin in the chuck. And again, advance the, let's remove this. I mean, this isn't a long piece, but I assure you it does work really well. But again, you have to hold the Jacob's chuck, because you haven't, in this case I haven't got the thread at the end to put a drawbar through to hold it in place. And again, you don't need great speeds here, about sort of 500-600 revs, whatever. And there will be a bit of movement because it's quite a long piece of steel, but don't worry about that. Hold on to your Jacob's chuck and advance. It'll find its centre, and then when it starts to cut, it is extremely efficient. Now again here, keep removing it to clear the swarf. Now, depending on the length of your quill travel, once you've got started, you could advance the tailstock in, and then you can start to advance the quill again, cutting more stuff out. And this is a really, really efficient way of a depth hole for any deep forms that you would be hollowing out. But as I say, and I'll keep saying this on this one, don't forget to file down those threads at the end of the... Well, I hope you found that video of some use, a few little hints and tips that possibly you can get a few ideas from. Well, thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers now.